Hi, I'm Lori Caldwell, and this is the first in a series of videos that we're going to be making, bookpromotion.com. As you probably know, I sent an email out about 2 weeks ago asking for authors with no experience to ask me questions. I'm working on some of their websites now, and some of them are some of the questions I just turned into a presentation, so I'm going to try to cover this one quickly. 10 minutes or less, hopefully. And this is why it's important to have your own domain name. That's your first name, last name.com. I didn't know that this was an issue that people were confused about, so I'm glad to have the opportunity to kind of clarify and give you my opinions and experiences on the situation. So that's what I'm covering today. Your first name, last name, yourname.com, basically, and why it's important that you own that. So first of all, what's a domain? That's a website address like NewYorkTimes.com or About.com or Facebook.com. That's your home on the internet. That's you owning a little piece of the internet that's just yours. That domain is your name and your brand, and it's what people will find when they search for you. Eventually, it will come up first in the search engines when people Google or search for your name. So we call that that first name, last name.com website the mothership. It should have your name, your photo, your social media info, a place for people to sign up for your mailing list, book covers, links to buy your book from booksellers, like a blog, and basically all roads should lead back to that that main website that you own and control. For everything from your social media should point back to there, to your Goodreads profile should point back to there, your Amazon Author Central. Everything should point back to something over which you have total control, that you pay for. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it does have to be something that you own. And with that, I'll say, what do we not mean by this? We don't mean anything on a free platform like Blogger. That would be, yourname.blogspot.com. WordPress.com. WordPress.org is a content management piece of software, and that's a whole different discussion that we'll have later. But for now, we're just talking about WordPress.com, which is a blogging platform. When you're serious about your author website, you need to stay away from free platforms because you would give a lot of your rights over in order to use that free platform, and with that, the right to really get good tech support and to control your work on there. You would also that would also include Tumblr, Weebly, Wix. Anything where you can start basically a blog right then for free without setting it up or paying. Why not free? In case you want to debate this, it's fine if you start out with the blog that's free, but as soon as you're really serious about selling books and growing your brand as an author, I would recommend that you just push that on over to something that you own. And I can give, here are the main reasons. One, when you agree to be on a free platform, you are agreeing to the terms of that free content provider. I have heard several horror stories, one of which was one writer's work being used in the content platform's promotional materials without her consent. So they might also take a cut of your ad revenue if you have advertisements on there. They certainly will limit the functionality that you're able to do to customize that website. And further to that, you might not even own your own copyright to your work anymore because I don't know if you've read the entire fine print of every agreement that you sign, but you might be sending away some rights. The other scary thing about that is that those big companies can take away that blog anytime they want for any reason that they want. I had another client come to me in a panic. She was writing a mom blog, and she had done a blog to book deal, and she suddenly noticed that her traffic had fallen off a lot. And when she visited her own website, she realized that Blogger, which is the Google platform, had marked her blog as being adult content or objectionable because of some story that she told that I think had a bad word in it or something. And then eventually they deleted the whole blog. So, and that was really a lot of work, 7 years worth of work. And she never heard back from them. So basically she's trying to build back up from that now. But, if you agree to be on someone else's platform for free, you're basically abdicating your right to, tech support or, I'm not going to say fair treatment, but, they don't have to do anything for you if you didn't pay them. So that's the main reason why I would really encourage you to consider buying your own domain, transferring all your work over to there. Also, I would say your first name, last name is much more preferable than a specialty website. And by those, I mean things like, these are fictional examples, not real, but they're based on real scenarios. If you like to call yourself the cat lady, and so you buy thecatlady.com. If you write a book with someone else, and so you guys put together your two personalities, and you buy lucyandethel.com, and you develop that as a website. If you own a business and you're going to put out books as the business, so it's called, girlpowerincorporated.com or something like that. These are all examples that I would not encourage. I would like it more if you had your own firstname-lastname.com website first before you branch off into something specialty. Here's why, in a nutshell. In the first example, your book doesn't say written by the cat lady. The cat lady is hard for people to remember, and it's going to be your name that you have to say when you go on the radio or, when you go on television or somebody quotes you. They're not going to say the cat lady said this. They're going to say your real name. So it's going to confuse the search engine to have you have your name, but the domain, the cat lady. In the second example, where you have partnered with someone, you and that person might have a falling out, and then who's going to update the website? What if nobody updates it? And then neither of you can promote your books. What if you have a mailing list that you share? What if one of you decides to write a novel that's in a totally different genre, but you can't promote that novel because your website is all about you and that other person? Guaranteeing that you're going to write all your books with that person for the rest of your life is a gamble that I really don't want you to take. The third example, where you're trying to market yourself through a business. In the case of books, people are more likely to remember a person than a business. Also, in referring back to the other example, you didn't write the book. You're not going to write all your books from now on as that business. You can't really speak as a business. It's weird to go on a radio show and say your name, but then you want people to Google the business to get to you. You really need that firstname-lastname.com website as your hub, and then you can branch out accordingly to partnerships, to businesses, to whatever else you want. The third thing that I don't want you to do is a book-specific website. And I know this from personal experience. I have now made 5 websites for individual books, and I don't like to see people doing this because it's a waste of time and money. Your firstname-lastname.com website should be sufficient to write about all the different kinds of books and types of books that you want to write about. Don't make a website for each new book. Trust me, from experience, that I wish I had not made all those websites. So the next question is, how do you actually get a domain? In this example, you would go to GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy is just a domain registrar, but it's an open market. You can go to whatever domain registrar you like the most. I'm just using that as an example. You would type in the domain you want, which is your name. And in this example, I've used johnqsmithauthor.com. And then you would hit the little screen search button right there. They don't pay more than, this says $12.99, which is fine. But I would say around $8 to $10, maybe $12 per year is what you should pay for a domain. I would keep searching in this box right here until you find an iteration or permutation of your name that you like. If it's not your first name, last name, try your middle initial, try author, try writer, try, whatever. If you have a really common name, you might have to keep doing this until you find something that's reasonable. Don't break the bank on a domain. Just make sure that you get something that has your actual name in it. And that brings me to the next question, which somebody asked me, which was, if somebody has already bought your name and they're trying to sell it to you for a premium price, is that illegal? Should you report them? Should you pay the premium price? In this example, the person was trying to buy their domain, but somebody else had it and they were wanting $1,500. I would say absolutely not. Don't pay $1,500 for your own name. It's possible that somebody else has that name and they're just sitting on it, which is a jerk thing to do. But I don't think it's worth for your energy and effort to fight it. I just think you should just don't fall down that rabbit hole. Just move on, unless your name is Jennifer Aniston, in which case you probably have a legal team that can go after that squatter. But no, I don't suggest people pay the premium price for the premium domain. That's not something I think you should spend your money on. Next question. I recommend that people use their first name, their last name, and then the word author, because I like to see them get the .com. The search, it's easier to rank a .com in the search engine. I prefer it over a .net, a .org, or any of the new extensions that have just come out. .mobi, .me, .guru, like you can get .restaurant now. I think those are difficult for people to remember. So if you say your name and then you say .guru, that's too much information for a regular person to remember. So when they Google you, you just want to make sure that your name pops up and they can get to you, your books, your mailing list. You're just trying to make it easy for someone to get to you. And I don't think that overcomplicating the domain name does that. Another thing people ask me is, I tend to use GoDaddy in my examples. I like them because they're cheap and I have an account there, but you're welcome to register your domain anywhere else. Just don't overpay. I think you should pay, like the example was, $8 to $12 per year. Some examples, some other examples, resources that I'll put down in the description box are domain.com and namecheap.com. I have also had clients get domains over there because they don't like GoDaddy for whatever reason, and that's fine. So that's about it for why you need your own firstname-lastname.com. And so go and register it, and next time we'll talk about getting you some inexpensive hosting and then getting your website actually set up. But I really feel like you can do this marketing thing in 10 minutes at a time. Try not to fall down any rabbit holes or get, overly upset. It's just a process and you're doing great. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. And next time, hosting.